Hello my friends, welcome back to my hypnobirthing channel. My last video was about my hypnobirthing experience and I hope that you guys had a chance to listen to it. It was very entertaining, but it was very real, and it was indeed my own story, of course, and everything that happened. And so if you have not heard and hadn't had a chance to listen to it, I want to invite you to, after you finish watching this video, to go ahead and have a listen to my hypnobirthing experience. Okay, this video is going to be a bit more informative. In this video I'm going to be speaking about the queen bee of all hormones, and the hormone that you need in excess to have a very relaxing, positive birthing experience. Okay, so let's begin. Today's video is about the hormone that you need to have in excess to have a very wonderful, positive, and basically a great memory and a great birthing experience. And today it's gonna be like the queen bee of all hormones, and it's called oxytocin. Now, before my pregnancy, I knew nothing about this hormone. I mean, who really cares to even, look up hormones and, get all this information about things? But when you're pregnant, you want to know as much information as possible. And I found this really, really informative, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's so important to kind of know what's happening with your body and how you can influence your birth to ensure that you have a very smooth run and you have a great experience. Because I love to say you have it in your hands. You have the power to choose the kind of birthing experience that you get to have. You can do it, okay? And it starts with knowledge, it starts with practice, and of course it starts with you taking control. And that's why I'm so obsessive about this hypnobirthing thing, because it's so good. So combined with hypnobirthing techniques and practices, I also use my own individual techniques that I have discovered that worked for me, and I know it will work for you as well. So let's speak about oxytocin today. So basically, when you're giving birth and you're during pregnancy and everything else, but especially labor, a lot of hormones are responsible for that process to happen as smoothly as possible. Okay, that's why it's called a natural birth, because the hormones are supposed to come into you and do the things that it needs to do to ensure that it happens in a smooth way. That's the way God created us, amazingly. Okay, and this is why we're so not really against, but we so want to avoid artificial hormones and artificial stuff like epidural and all these things, because basically it's going to counteract what your natural hormone is going to do in your body. So there's a cocktail of hormones that's responsible for your birthing experience and for your labor. I'm not going to touch into them, but the stuff like endorphins and relaxing, and these things, especially relaxing, says what the word says, relaxing. It helps to relax your body, right? But the oxytocin is the queen bee of all hormones, and this is the hormone that you need in excess for your labor and your birth. So let's get into oxytocin. So oxytocin is present throughout all of our lives. Basically, it's more present in women especially, and it's present in everything that we do, especially when it comes to intimacy. It's basically an intimate hormone, okay? We get it by touching and kissing, especially in couples. So when you meet somebody that you love, especially your spouse, and you get connected and they say energy, and you get that, you feel that feeling and everything else, that is your oxytocin spiking up there and gives you that attraction to that opposite sex and to that particular person. That's oxytocin. And so oxytocin is released in our bodies by touching, kissing, as I said, intimacy, of course, making love and all these amazing things, cuddles and all these things. That feeling that makes you feel relaxed, that hormone is responsible for you to feel relaxed, calm, just basically in that zone. As we know, after we've had sex and all these intimate things, we feel so calm, we feel serene, we feel like we're euphoric, and that's the oxytocin there that's just flowing through our bodies. Okay, and so this touch points in our bodies, of course, would be our mouths and our hands and our skin, especially skin to skin contact and all these things. So the amazing thing with labor is that oxytocin is also produced by your baby, and I'll go into that a bit. I hope I don't forget that part, but I'll just say it now, because when your baby releases oxytocin and then you release oxytocin, that connects the bond with the mother and the baby. That's why moms can distinguish what baby is theirs, because that oxytocin is flowing towards you and you are flowing it towards your baby. So that's why God has created this in such an amazing way that a mother can tell which baby is hers among a sea of different babies, okay? And it's because of that oxytocin. So let's get into it a bit about how it helps you during labor. Now, I remember my midwife saying to me, because my baby came 2 weeks overdue, Zayna was 2 weeks overdue, we were going to 40 weeks and Zayna was not coming out, okay? And one of the advice that my midwife said to me is that however that baby went in, that's how she's gonna come out, and you need to have sexual intercourse. Now, while you're like this big, it's the last thing you want to think about, I know, but it's something with that. Obviously, there's two ways, obviously, two things that happens. First, there is a particular thing in the sperm that comes obviously when you have sex that loosens the cervix and all these things. That's why you're encouraged to have sex during that time to help you to induce your labor, but also because it's going to help that flow of oxytocin to flow through your bodies. Okay, so that's the thing, you need to get it going because oxytocin is such an important hormone for your body. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but oxytocin also helps you with the birthing experience as well. The more, that's why the birthing environment is so important for mothers, right? The more that you are in a calming environment, a more dark environment, because obviously with lighting not as comfortable. It's the same when you're thinking about being intimate with somebody, okay? You want to have a cozy place, you want to be secluded, you want to feel private, you want to feel secure, and it's the same thing during our labor experiences. We want to ensure that we are in the right birthing environment to allow that oxytocin to flow through our bodies naturally, okay? So you want to make sure that the room is warm, because coldness is gonna scare it away. Obviously, your skin needs to be warm, you need to be comfortable. You don't want too much lights because you're feeling like if you're being observed and people are watching you, you don't want these things, okay? So you want to ensure that your environment is cozy, it's warm, it's intimate, and of course you can do things like massages. That's why it's so important to have your birthing partner doing little massages on your skin that allows the flow of oxytocin. Remember, touching is very important, skin to skin. So this can allow your oxytocin to flow through, and this is going to allow your birthing experience to be so much more amazing. This is why during hypnobirthing we do a lot of visualization and guided meditation and all these things, is to help you to get into that zone of relaxation. And when you're in that zone of relaxation, in another place in your mind, in your imagination, where you're calm, you're relaxed, your oxytocin is just going to flow through your body, and then it's going to allow your baby to move through as comfortably as possible, okay? This is another thing as well. There is a bit of artificial oxytocin, because in the third stage of labor, when you're moving your placenta, I don't know if I said this in the other video, but when I was passing my my placenta after, which is like the third birth, when you're birthing your placenta, you can be helped by getting oxytocin injected into your body, right? Because that helps it to flow through much easier as well. And if you choose not to have it artificially injected into you, you could also use that's why they encourage the skin to skin with you and your baby, because when your baby is there on your chest and sometimes their little hands are moving towards your breast and all these amazing things, that flow comes through your body, and that allows the placenta to separate as well and move through. That's how it comes naturally, okay? Yes, and let's speak a little bit more about oxytocin's role after birth. So oxytocin also helps with breastfeeding as well, as I said, with bonding, allows your milk to come through when the baby is there. Like, your body knows that your baby has been birthed, and so your milk is produced. That's why everything just seems to be happening so sequentially, and it's because of this hormone, oxytocin. Thank God for oxytocin, okay? And also after birth, oxytocin is responsible for allowing your cervix and your uterus to go right back in, because it knows that the baby is gone and now it needs to suck back up and then close back because it's already done its work. It's so amazing, okay? And the fact that we know that we can increase and decrease oxytocin is what is so important. So I want to encourage you, if you are currently pregnant and if you're expecting a baby, or if you're expecting to be pregnant soon, you need to be working on your oxytocin level. And that's why it's so important in the stress tension cycle in hypnobirthing. We speak about lowering your stress, because then because if you have stress, if the stress level is high, you get more tension and you have more pain. So the whole point of this is for you to be relaxed, to be calm, to be secure, and to be able to secrete, basically to create, or should we say, be able to have all this hormone of oxytocin flowing through your body and allow your birthing experience to be so much better. So remember, less stress, less tension, less pain, and so the other way around as well. So as a reminder, that is why, of course, it's so good when we can do birthing pools. You know, I wanted to have a birthing pool, but obviously because of my complication, when my waters broke and my baby pooed in me, we had to go immediately to the delivery suite and I had to be hooked up to the machine. So therefore I couldn't do the birthing pool. But birthing pools are so good, because obviously we know having a warm bath, feeling cozy, these are going to allow the flow of oxytocin to flow through your body so much better. So if you have the opportunity, a birthing pool would be amazing. For my second birth, that is what I'll be praying for. I want to do a birthing pool. Okay, because while you're in that warm bath, you're surrounded by all that wonderful water, you're feeling really cozy, you're feeling really loved up. You know, everybody knows that after a long day, you take a long bath with some candles and you feel amazing. And that's why we also speak about aromatherapy oil, you know, oils that allows your body to just release certain hormones as well. Because, you know, when you're relaxed, let's say for example you're using lavender or jasmine or these amazing smells, it releases the stress and the anxiety and it allows you to be calm and relaxed, and therefore oxytocin is going to flow through your body as much as possible here. Okay, so that is my video today on oxytocin. Just remember, it is the queen bee of all hormones in our bodies, and the more you secrete in your body, especially during pregnancy, the more amazing your birthing experience is going to be. And you can affect that by the birthing environment that you're in, and of course by your own adaptation and the things that you do to ensure that you have that hormone come in. So we said massaging and having warm baths and being cozy with your hubby and kissing, touching hands, whatever it is that makes you feel intimate is going to have that hormone flowing. Okay, so the thing is with oxytocin as well, I just want to let you know too that it is present throughout our body throughout our pregnancies, but it's just very dormant throughout the duration of your pregnancy until you're in your third trimester, and that's where it spikes up because it knows it has to do its work, and then obviously that is to get your baby out as much as possible. So that is the video today for oxytocin. I wanted to share so much about this because it's such an important hormone, and the fact that you can help it increase and decrease is so important, because that can affect your birthing experience. And of course the purpose of this is to get away from the fear and the anxiety, and of course trying to have as less pain as possible during your birthing experience, so that you can have a wonderful experience. Okay, even though mine was short, basically 3 hours, it was intense, but it was over in no time, and that's the most amazing thing, because I think my oxytocin was definitely flowing. I was calm, I was relaxed as much as possible. My hubby was there, my birthing partner, my sister was there with me as well, helping me to practice my breathing, helping me to relax. The touching, I had the gentle massages on my body from my back, and all these things is so important. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will love to answer them. Just drop them in the comments below. If you have any comments, I would love to hear as well about your own experience, and join me next week, of course, for my next video. I don't know what the topic is going to be yet, but I'll be sharing with you much more information that can help you to get over your fears and your anxiety around pregnancy, and how to influence you to have a wonderful birthing experience. Okay, so take care, speak to you guys soon, bye.